So I'm just showing some real basic laptop maintenance that you can do. Because just like a car or something, a laptop needs to be serviced once in a while. Ports get worn out, stuff gets used, especially over the years. And this laptop's done me real well for a long time. And so I'm giving a little bit of love. And I'm showing you as well how you can give your laptop a little bit of love. Now, if you look here on the side, your USB port, come on camera, zoom, focus here. The camera's being rough right now. Come on. Oh, you dumb thing. Might just need to unplug this. This is too hard to do on camera. I'm just lifting that little tab, pulling that out. And you see there's a little tab here on the side, as well as 2 tabs on the top. There's a little. And those make contact with your male USB plug and they kind of grip it a little bit. And they really help so your plug doesn't kind of wobble and make a bad connection. And then you can see the 4 pins of USB 2.0 inside there as well. And they're all equal. The height, you want to make sure the height is the same of all those pins, the way they're raised a little bit, about 1 millimeter up. And you can also give them a little gentle scrape with a, oof, gosh, I'm having a hard time. I wish I had helping hands with me right now to set this up, but I'm just gonna have to do it like that. Yeah, and you see those pins, those all look pretty good actually. But I already went in there, and you can use some tweezers is kind of a good way to do it, or a nice horsehair kind of brush. But you can kind of go in there and just give them a little scrape, just a little gentle scraping, kind of get any contaminants, little stuff off, expose the copper a little bit. And then you can also look at the top here, and you want to press these down just a smidge. And then use a male, before you plug everything back in your computer, use something to test and, plug it back in, see if it's nice and snug. And yeah, that's really all it is. You just want to push these down just a little bit. And I already did it on this one, so I'm not really going to go crazy in this video. But yeah, you got the 2 side points, the 2 top points, and then cleaning the actual contacts. And, I use these USB ports a lot. I mean, I have really worked this thing over the years. So that's going to help for sure. The other thing that gets used a lot, the other ports that get worn out, of course, there's another USB port that I already worked on. But the other one is the SD card slot is really worn out on this guy. And first I had to take off some of the Kapton tape. It's this nice heat-resistant yellow tape you see in electronics. It's really good stuff. Pick some up if you don't have some. It's cheap. And I had to take a piece covering this part to keep dust and stuff out, contaminants. And then you want to put this guy in. You can push in just a little bit, or you can leave it out. I guess it doesn't really matter right away. I'm just going to show you how it works, though. And you see all the copper contacts there, and then it just pushes up. And this pushes in. It pushes up all those little mini pins there. Pretty basic function. Well, what happens is over time is these pins, they get bent a little bit from all that wear and tear. And so you just gotta push them down. Just give them a little push. Make sure they're gonna grab your card a little better. This should help a lot. I mean, you can also try to go in with the tweezers and clean them a little bit, but you got to be real careful you don't bend them, because that could be easy to do. And then you notice these ones in the back, which I never use, are for a different kind of card, and they are all the way down, almost to the metal. Very little play on those ones. So yeah, since there's very little play on these, and you want to mimic that. You want to get these down to where that play is about the same. I guess this card might be a little bit thicker, so maybe that's why there's a tiny bit more play. But, just get these pushed down a little bit. Get it to catch your card a little better. And, yeah. Also, it really helps to go in with some canned air, compressed air. I have actually an air compressor, but you can use the canned stuff. Make sure you hold the fan with your finger or something, and then blow the air. You don't want to keep the fan free floating, because if the fan spins really fast while you're blowing compressed air, you could damage the fan. So don't do that. You want to hold it. You can just use your finger and just blow on the outtake there and on the intake. And you'll usually see a bunch of dust will come out. It's totally fine. And just air it out, give everything a nice clean spray of canned air, of compressed air. You don't want to get too close to some parts, It's pretty uncommon that a part will come off from compressed air, but it can happen if you're just right up there against it, So use a little bit of common sense there. But yeah, real good for the fan. You can check the keyboard. I blew a little bit of the dust and garbage out of the keyboard. Just anywhere air comes in, you're going to find little pieces of dust. With this particular model, I upgraded the SSD, which is why I'm in here right now. So it's going to have a faster SSD. Yay! And yeah, you can also do a check for any screws that you think might be loose. If this thing doesn't leave my house a lot, but if I were to carry it around a lot, I'm sure I'd have loose screws. So it's a good thing to check. And of course, if you need to upgrade the battery. Oh, one thing I almost forgot. The screws that always come loose, you absolutely should check every time you open up a laptop, is these ones. The ones that hold in the hinge and the hinge mounting brackets. These always come loose because you're opening and closing that hinge over the years. And so even with thread lock, they do come loose, and that's where you get a lot of your hinge problems. So always take a good look at those. And what else? Anything else I'm forgetting? If you really want to go full in and you really like the laptop, I do recommend taking out the heatsink here and putting new thermal compound. I did that with this guy, a year or two ago, so I'm not going to do it right now. But there's usually 4 screws that you remove. And then you have to remove usually a couple screws with that because the fan is actually connected. This is all basically one piece. It's taped together. There's a screw here and a screw here and one over there, I think. So 3 plus the 4 here. There's a warranty sticker. You pull that out, clean the bottom of this with 99% isopropyl alcohol, the highest percentage alcohol you can get. Clean it with a microfiber cloth. And then apply some Arctic Silver or whatever, nice quality thermal paste, about a size of about half the size of a pea or something like that. You can look up. People have their different opinions on the best amount. But that will help a lot because the thermal conductive paste under here turns into a putty over the years. So if you have an older laptop, especially if it's more than 5 years old, definitely if it's more than 10 years old, 9 or 10 years old, you're going to want to do that because it'll stop conducting the heat effectively. So yeah, little bit of laptop preventive maintenance tips for you there. Laptops are great. When computers do not need to be thrown out as much as they are. We live in here in the United States, we live in a very wasteful economy, and other parts of the world, people really value these things and they really take the time to repair them. And I really appreciate that. If you're watching this video from another part of the world, awesome. Thank you for caring about this stuff and really leading the way. America has a lot to learn sometimes, and that's why I'm making these videos, because recycling is good and taking care of these things. It takes a lot of money, a lot of raw materials from the environment, a lot of toxic mining of minerals. It's very toxic, and a lot of human cost is very high too for a lot of these raw materials. So there's a lot of good in recycling and doing just these little tiny things you can do. Half an hour, really not much, can save a really nice functioning computer from the e-waste and can really make use of something that took a lot of effort to build. It's a lot of complexity and can last a very, very long time. So hopefully this video was useful, and check out more videos. I'll be making more videos like this as time goes on. This is Sega Sonic Fan, signing out.